Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives. Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today's guest is Dianne Shelton, who is going to show us how to have an exceptional life. It really caught my attention reading that in her bio because we all want to be successful. We all want to have a great life. But having an exceptional life takes a whole other type of human and dedication and strategy. And she is here to kind of walk us through that through her experience and her coaching. So without further ado, Dianne, please tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Thank you so much for having me. And oh my gosh, what an introduction. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in the Philippines and I moved to Minnesota of all places. So definitely a shift there. And these days I am coaching multi-passionate women and also business owners, specifically to help them with their digital marketing and all the good stuff that will help them to create that freedom-based lifestyle. So with that said, I am excited to dive in and talk a little bit about how to make an exceptional life that is based on what you really want and have more fun along the way.
I love that. Well, thank you and welcome again. So take us back. So you moved to Minnesota. How old were you? How did you even get interested in this industry? Walk us through your journey, please.
Yes, for sure. So I was almost 16. So this was pre-Facebook. And so I was celebrating my sweet 16th birthday without my friend, all by myself with my family. But so we moved here 15 and I was like begging my mom. I'm just like, can we please just stay? It's my birthday month. We're moving. And I was so cold. It was like 76 degrees and that was cold for me because usually it's like 80s, 90s all the time. So we moved here halfway around the world around that time frame. And then we've been here for over 20 years now. So with that, I'm just like, okay, like I need to get online a little bit more as the space get a little bit more online to stay connected with my friends. And that kind of just opened my mind to more what's available out there for a career. I've always loved my friends cheated on my paper back in school for computer science related stuff. So I'm like, I'm really good at this. Why don't I just make this my career? So I got into computer science because I'm just like, there's money in that. And there's not a lot of women in the STEM field. But because there is not a lot of women in the STEM field, it also made it a little bit harder. So I was mentoring some women and then couple of my mentees decided they're going to start their own business. And I'm just like, well, if you're doing that, and I also have my background, I have my MBA, I'm just like, I'm going to like walk the talk. I can still continue to mentor you. I'll do my small business also. And then from there, I just kind of fell in love with coaching. And I'm just like, okay, like, let's do this. I created a plan and here we are.
Awesome. Now, you said you had your degree in computer science.
Yeah.
What was your experience working in that industry, a woman in the STEM field? You've worked with some big time CEOs and other leaders. Can you walk us through your experience just so we have a good foundation on where your background is from?
Yeah, sure. So there's a few things that we can talk about on this because it's just like, like if you're still in corporate, like it doesn't have to be just women, right? Like it could be like if you're a minority, if you're just younger, like you might feel a little bit of resistance from people that's just like, okay, like, do you really know what you're doing? So I remember there's like a review that obviously I'm still healing from the corporate trauma, as I call it. And so it was like my manager told me, like throughout the year, it's like you're doing a great job, but then you only get one performance review. And then when it happens, it's just like, okay, you're only getting this much. And then when I say like, hey, like, I think I'm ready for like the next step in terms of getting a promotion and stuff. And then I'm pretty sure this was illegal, but my manager at the time said like, hey, like you're still young, you can get a promotion later. It's just like your promotion should not be about your age, right? So just those kinds of stuff. So don't let any of that intimidate you, if you feel like you're being boxed in, step out of that comfort zone, right? Because you can really do a lot of exceptional things. So that's just really what the lesson learned that I took away from.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I went through a similar situation in the corporate world, and it is really sad because everybody's potential and everybody's time readiness is not necessarily age related. And like you said, that's why at least I'm in California. I know there are laws against ageism for hiring and giving like equal opportunity for promotions, but definitely you don't want anybody to discourage you because of your age and experience. And I've learned that unless you do get the chance and opportunity, you're never going to grow. So even though you're very young and you might not be 100% ready, but if you feel like you're ready enough to take that leap, I think it's a great thing to push for in your current company or a different company or even on your own, because that's how we're going to grow and really like get out of the box, like you said, and see a leap and see a big growth instead of those micro little raises that we get annually with the reviews. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for encouraging our audience to push for what they believe and what they think they deserve and not feel like they need to be held down, held back because of their age. Now, my second question to you is, what does your exceptional life look like today? Were you able to achieve an exceptional life in your definition for yourself? And what does that look like on the daily, weekly, monthly? I know you also love to travel, so tell us a little bit about your lifestyle today.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that everyone have a different definition of an exceptional life, right? So again, like back in corporate, you get like 1 week vacation. I'm just like, oh, that's not enough. And so I love to travel, and getting paid with my business and stuff to travel is even better. That I
Both worlds. You can
Right.
travel, have fun, and also make money along the way.
Yeah, so that's what I do. Like speaking to travel, also just like meeting my clients when I travel and those kinds of stuff. And of course, just like I tell people I travel for fried chicken because it's just like I love food. Yeah. So it's just like being able to experience life the way that I feel at this moment. I also like to stay home. Like in the winter times, yes, the beach is nice, but sometimes it's just like playing board games with my siblings, and also just gardening in the summer. Like right now in Minnesota, it's just like it's garden season. So just little things like that, that's just like define what that might look like for you. Don't get intimidated by like all of these fancy people. It's just like have a Lamborghini and stuff like that. It's just like you don't really know what's going on beneath all of that, right? Like they might show you the glitz and glamour of what exceptional life should look like, but do they really have that? Do they really feel that inside? And again, like to kind of tie the two in terms of what I was experiencing in entrepreneurship now versus when I was a corporate person, is that money was good in terms of it's stable, but money is just one part of an exceptional life, right? Like in terms of just like, yes, there's this stability, but I was also craving the freedom. So sometimes you have to assess for yourself, like which one is important, and then being able to create a plan so you can have both, honestly, both worlds, right? It's just a matter of what is more important to you, and then pursue it, and just again being willing to do the work towards what you want.
So somebody who hasn't really given too much thought, obviously we all just general want an exceptional life, but somebody that you're coaching or comes to you and be like and is kind of lost and doesn't know where to start, how would you help them define what an exceptional life would be for them? Like, where do they start to really like dive deep inwards to be able to figure out what that means to them? Because I know defining it's super important. And like you said, a lot of times we get sidetracked with shiny objects and what's being sold to us on social media or by celebrities or by uber rich people, like, you know, the super mansion, the yacht, the Lamborghini, like you said, but that's not necessarily the life that's going to make us genuinely happy and content. So where does somebody start to really work and figure out what they really want so they know what they're working towards?
I have a lot of thought on this, so I'll try to summarize it, because like I started my business and I called it Passion Breakthrough, because I thought, I'm just like, I want to help everybody figure out what they want when they grow up, pursue their passion, have a breakthrough, and everyone lives happily ever after. Looking back, it's just like nobody really knows what they want slash are going to be when we grow up. Like nobody can predict the future.
Yeah, a lot of things change as we grow too.
Yeah.
Like the things on my dream board or on my wish list
Mhm.
have definitely evolved and changed
Yeah.
over the years. Like with every life hurdle or experience or age, things always evolve. So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. We need to be
Exactly.
realistic. Okay, at this moment, and then let's revisit it 3 months from now, like 6 months from now, because things can change.
Yes. Yeah. And so to your point, that's just like being willing to flex with it, right? Like not like bulldogging your way through like, this is what I said I want. Like assess yourself, find like start with your why, as they say. Like your why could change too, though. Like I feel like because again, it's not that it changes. I think we just get deeper with it. We better understand ourselves and then you go with what you feel like in your heart. Like there's a couple of things that I listen to. Like one of them is a person that's just like rich people spend their money to make their money make more money for them. And then like the people that are poor spend it to pay bills. And then the people that are just trying to get rich spend their money to make themselves look rich, but they're and you know like to try to make other people look at them and think that they're rich. So just kind of assessing in terms of just like how do you want to make your money, which is a tool to work for you and the lifestyle that you're looking for. And then the one more thing about the money part is the fact that like even people that have jets, like private jets and stuff like that, I had listened to one podcast as well in terms of just like two different perspectives, right? So some people buy those fancy stuff because again, they want to like be fancy. And then there's people that see it as a time freedom in terms of just like, okay, I'm buying this because I can and because I want to get myself more time so that I can do more things I want to do in my life. They're not doing it for anyone else. They're doing it because they believe that that's what they need in their life and they can't afford it. So it's just, again, like focusing on what you want. Don't get hyper focused on, I want a jet just because everyone else say that's what an exceptional life should have. Why do you want it? Is that really make sense for your life right now?
Yes, actually, I love that. The way you did, like you said, perspective. It's like you can look at it, okay, I want this jet because it's going to make me look cool, or is it going to allow me to get to my business meetings as quickly as possible so then I can spend the quality time with my family. So it's priorities. Awesome. Now, just to kind of get to know you personally a little bit more better, I love asking random questions. And one would be, what's one thing that most people don't know about you that might surprise us?
Oh my goodness. Besides the fried chicken thing, which I share to a lot of people, I honestly, I don't share this a lot of times. A few people of my friend group know the fact that I still have my motorcycle license, like on my
Nice.
on my license, although I haven't like taken it out first. Like I haven't had a motorcycle in a while. I got it because I fell in love with a boy who is now my ex. And so it's just like one of those things again, like you have to be flexible with life. And then experiencing it and then it's just like, oh, this looks like fun, going for that and then pursuing it, and then it's just like, oh well, it's there.
Yeah,
It
it's
costs
nice.
extra to have on your driver's license, might as well keep it.
It's nice to try new things. You never know what's going to be for you. I love that. I think that's part of keeping life exciting is trying new things. And I try to do that as much as I can. Because you never know if you're gonna like it or not. Because sometimes we don't give something a try and we think it's gonna be either boring or not for us or too scary. But then when we do it for somebody else or they encourage us to do, they were like, oh wait, I love this for myself. Like this is for me.
That's
Now,
amazing. So I love the fact that, you know, like we again, like there's no such, I don't believe that there's such thing as like failing necessarily in terms of like, you know, like in terms of trying new things and all these things. And again, like I started my business one way and then it evolved over time. And I think it also was because honestly, I was burnt out with the way that IT, corporate, all those things. And then full circle, I'm back to doing similar thing in terms of like helping people with their tech and their digital marketing and stuff like that. So again, like it's just, you have to heal along the way. Otherwise you show up and then it comes from not a place of, you know, like groundedness and stuff.
awesome. Now, what have been your top 3 lessons going on your own and being an entrepreneur? What has been kind of like the 3 things that you learned that you would like to share with the audience so they can have an easier time or not make the same mistakes?
My always kind of silly answer is like, don't do it, it's a trap. Because it's half a joke and half not really, because it really is harder than it seems, right? Like I was too arrogant, I guess, for lack of a better word, when I was going in thinking that I have my MBA, I have a plan, and then COVID hit, and then thinking that all my experiences from corporate, which have like big teams and all these things, are gonna be, yes, they're relevant, but they're not as apples to apples as most people would think. So it's harder than it seems. So definitely you have to have a stomach for entrepreneurship if you're gonna go into it. The second lesson I've learned is the fact that, again, like going back to me being the smartest person in the room, don't be the smartest person in the room. It's so like being the bravest person in the room is actually going to help you to explode your business even more, right? Like it's going to plug in the right rooms. That's the biggest thing. And then ask for help. Be willing to have other people around you to support you and celebrate you. It's important to know that if people around you are not celebrating you also, you're probably not hanging on the right space either. And then the third piece is that you're going to fall a lot. So
Ready.
keep going. If this, again, hone in your vision, hone in your why, twist and turn along the way, enjoy the journey. And because if you look back, you're going to realize that, you're building an exceptional life along the way and you're having fun. If you're not having fun, again, like it's just like assess that for yourself. It's just like there's unlike corporate life, which is retirement is the end goal. Entrepreneurship, the whole goal is you're building a freedom life along the way, not at the end of it. So don't make your business have you be working 20.
Thank you for that. And I have a follow-up question for the second one. You said don't be so, I guess, arrogant to think, okay, I have to be the smartest person in the room. Instead, surround yourself with other people that can help you grow and support you. Now, where can somebody find that? Because entrepreneurs do have that personality of thinking they're the best. They do have the confidence when they're, going out and starting a business. But a lot of times we do make that mistake in the beginning, thinking, oh, I know what I'm doing, when in reality, we could really use help from outside perspective and guidance. What advice would you have as far as a newer entrepreneur or even a seasoned entrepreneur looking to expand and have different ideas? Where do they find the right people to help them do that?
That's a great question because mentorship and mastermind groups, and the more I don't like the fact that sometimes it gets to be a pay to play, right? And also some people say they're experts, but not. You look behind the closet door and it's a mess, or it's not really what it seems to be. But at the end of the day, all of those things, again, like lessons learned, and you always learn something from it. You always get something from your investment, time, money, energy, all these things. So I've had a lot of quote unquote bad investments, right? Like, because again, like we don't just make an investment once and then say, oh, I guess it didn't work out. I guess I better just close the doors on my business, right? I get to learn from that and then say, this is what I am owning for myself. Did I take action on it? Did I make the connections with the other people in the room with me? Who resonate? Who did I vibe with? Who is really there to support me? What did I like about the support I got versus not like? And then take those lessons to the next space that I'm looking for. And then you continue that process until you really get to continue to up level. And for every up level, the goal is for you to outgrow the space you're in. Take whoever is going to be able to grow with you. Some people may not be able to grow with you, and that's okay. Our goal for you here is for you to continue to go after the higher and higher peaks in your business and in your life.
I see. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. Now, diving in a little bit into digital marketing, since that's your expertise. First of all, what is digital marketing? I mean, these days, most people should know what it is because we kind of really depend on it for a lot of business. But can you tell us what it is in your own words, and what are the top areas of digital marketing somebody needs to kind of keep an eye on or focus on in a new business?
That's a great question. So a lot of times people say it's literally just marketing because everyone should have a presence, right? So to me, it really is to help you get seen by your ideal clients, grow your leads, meaning the kinds of people, followers, subscribers, all of these things, and convert to sales. A lot of times I feel like people get confused with, are they doing marketing activities or are they doing sales activities, right? Like getting in front of audience, like, having a conversation like this, it's a marketing activity versus like when people hop on a call to actually have a conversation because they're interested to have a conversation about your services. That's a sales activity because now you're talking about your offers specifically. And then there's a third aspect, which is branding and advertising, which is like the Nike swoosh and stuff like that, right? Like that is way about you. It's not even like marketing necessarily, because marketing should really be like the bridge in between advertising, talking about your offers, your services, and promoting it. A lot of times I feel like people post on social media and they talk about their offers, promote, and say they're doing marketing, but in reality they're advertising. So there's a very slight nuance to that, but digital marketing to me, it's either you really are showing up in social media, you're having your email if you have that, and or you have your website in terms of just like some SEO, which is changing with AI nowadays, for articles and stuff like that. You don't have to do all of them. It depends what kind of business you have. If you have a local business or online business, and like if you have a service base or products and stuff like that, so definitely know your audience, know who you're targeting and all these things, and then move forward accordingly.
Excellent. Thank you for that summary. Now, going back to knowing your audience as far as what type of a business you are, how would it different from a local business compared to an online business? What are some tips that you have for our listeners who are targeting either or both? How do they differ?
Yeah, so in terms of a local business, again, there's different ways to leverage the like the online resources. Like for example, Google My Business, like your the way that you're leveraging that tool, the way that you're gonna advertise, and like Google, the maps, like those kinds of stuff. It's a little bit, and the tools, like some people might show up on Yelp and Alignable and all of these different things versus an online business. Now it's like, and again, it depends what kind of services you have. Like if you have a digital course, like you might want to outreach and like Udemy and all of these different things. But if you just have a service like a photographer that you can do virtually and stuff like that, then you might want to consider like a scheduling app and stuff. And then the way that you bring in clients is different too. Like you might want to have a phone call first versus if you just want to have it through automated systems on ads and stuff like that. So with all of that to keep in mind, having clarity on who you serve, how you serve, all of these things matter before you even really venture into marketing. So your offer strategy should be clearer, and then go into marketing with the vision of what you want to sell, because otherwise you're just spending time and money and resources for marketing and then trying to figure out, oh, I guess marketing is not working for me, when in reality you have to take a step back, and it's just because like you're trying to be in everywhere for everyone and that doesn't work most of the time.
I see. So really knowing your audience and narrowing down on your goal with what you're trying to do with sales and marketing.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Now, as far as your experience with working with clients, on average, how long does it take for somebody who pretty much like sits down and tries to come up with a marketing plan or a sales plan to having conversions or having sales and some results from that effort or from that investment?
Yeah. So the answer is always it depends, right? Like, because I work different. I work differently in terms of customizing it for them. So more established entrepreneurs, like I feel like when I answer these questions, it's like giving bad advice in terms of just like expectation set. But I have seen like a couple clients that come to mind, like within like a month of working together, they get their clients, like high ticket clients and stuff like that. But it's because they put in the effort. They have a very defined like who they're targeting and stuff like that. So it's clean pathway for them to walk through. There's some clients where it's just like we've been working on identifying who and what they even want to become first, getting them stable on that, right? So it depends if you're newer or more experienced. And then there's some people that they just want to advance what's already working for them, meaning like they already have an established business and they're just looking to have like a sales pipeline in the CRM, which is client relationship management tool, that I just kind of implement and then just kind of make it a little bit optimized for them.
Awesome. Awesome. So it could take anywhere from a month to 6 months, a year. It just really depends on what you need and what path you're going to take to achieve those goals. Excellent. Now, this is a more of a marketing strategy type of lessons learned question. So same type of question is, what are the top 3 mistakes that you see clients making that they can easily correct within digital marketing today?
Top 3. Okay. Again, like the offer is the big one in terms of just like getting distracted, especially with Canva. It's so easy to be like, oh my gosh, like I could create this post and ChatGPT can just help me with that. Before you do that, again, take a step back and create like a plan. It's really going to help you get more clarity on that. So that's the first one, is like offer clarity. The second one was...
I'm sorry to cut you off. Follow-up question. So offer clarity as far as what your product is or what service or product you're offering. Be very clear on what it is that you are selling, basically.
Yes, specifically what you're selling and the messaging, how you're messaging it. Because again, it's really crowded. It's always crowded. It's just a matter of like, how do you get on top of the marketplace and then not feeling like you're shouting in a vacuum?
I see. So know what you're selling and what makes you stand out, basically.
Yes.
Okay, get very clear on that first. All right.
Yeah. In marketing terms, it's really the USP, which is the unique selling proposition that you're really trying to assess for yourself.
Excellent. Okay.
Yep. And then the second one, I'd say people are impatient. It's just like they post it didn't work, or they put out this offer and then they get rejection, and then they're just like, well, that didn't work, so they like make a gazillion changes all at once. Make tweaks, but don't just throw everything in. I don't like the phrase to throw the baby with the bathwater. Yeah, so just again, like make the minor tweaks. Data drives decisions, right? So have your information handy with you in terms of just like, okay, when I change this is what happens. When I did this is what happens. When I hang out in this room, this is what happens. It's going to help you to kind of also, it's going to help you with historical and also to celebrate your successes along the way, because it's like your business diary. So there's that one. Be a little bit more patient, give yourself grace. I like to tell my clients to do the 1-100-1 rule, which is like do one thing for 100 days with one goal in mind. And so I know a lot of them still get distracted, but it's just like giving them a focus, right? I think it's important.
Yeah, I mean, right now, 100 days seems so much, but in reality, it's just 3 months. And sometimes when you look back, you're like, oh, 3 months just passed by. I can't believe we're almost like halfway through the year in 2025 now. So yeah, I think that's a really good rule to kind of keep in mind, because just having a time frame is kind of, I guess, distracting, because you think it's been a long time, but you look back, you're like, oh, it's only been 2 weeks. But you're like, oh, am I not seeing anything happening? But I guess that's a really good reminder for all of us to be a little bit more patient and put a specific time frame to check back on an ad or on an offer or something new that you're trying.
Yeah, it also applies to yourself, right? Like be patient with yourself, because sometimes it's just like, oh, I should be this by now, or I should like have a gazillion dollars by now. Like really, like in 3 months, you think that that's something that it gives you really like a definite, like tangible results, and also be honest with yourself. Like, is this really something that you can make happen in 100 days?
Yeah.
So what's your
goals?
plan?
Yeah. Awesome. And the third?
Yes, which is my favorite thing and what I get distracted on the most, which is tools. So it's like, let's all stop spending so much money and getting distracted with the shiny new object out there, because in reality, we can keep things simple, right? Like in terms of just like, we don't need like all of these like fancy bells and whistles that even like ChatGPT, like I don't have the premium version right now. Like I was using the premium version, but it's just like, why am I paying this much money for it? Like, what is it really benefiting me?
You don't really need it.
Yeah, so it's just little things like that assess your, again, time and money spend, and make sure you're reinvesting your reinvesting accordingly. Because if you want to live exceptional life, you need to continue to evolve along the way in terms of just like spending your time and money and being mindful where that's going. Because again, like you have to make extraordinary decisions along the way as well, in terms of just like maybe $20 here along the way is not really that much, but then over time it really adds on a lot, and then you can reinvest elsewhere and then make that work harder for you.
Now, I do also love keeping things simple. I don't like having too much extra stuff. I do think it gets more complicated and confusing. Sometimes the minimal is what you need, but I also love to have the tools that I need to make my life easier if it's going to save me time and effort. What are some of your favorite tools to use in business or digital marketing?
So again, like make sure that it's serving a purpose, right? So for me, Google products, it's just like all my Google stuff is there. It's a bit of a mess, but it's there. And then Canva for all things creative. And then in terms of actual digital marketing resources and stuff like that, I have my CRM that I implement for my clients as well. And to your point, like I don't necessarily like the having to duct tape a bunch of things. That's why I have it as an all-in-one. It has like the AI capability in there right now. So I could set it up so that I could have like an AI assistant to answer phone calls. It sounds like a human, all these things. You can have a chat bot, all those different things. So it definitely serves as a multi-purpose, marketing tool for my clients and myself.
And that's the tool you created, the CRM for your company.
Yes. So I've partnered up with a development team that helped me to set that up, so that I want to make sure it's a mature product that I'm helping with my clients, because I want like support is important to me. So I have like a team that is available 24/7 on that one. Also making sure that it's not gonna like sometimes like people on Black Friday, it happened to me. So in terms of like Black Friday and you're making a sale and pretty soon it goes down. So I'm just like, I don't want that to happen to me or my clients. So making sure that it's available. Again, my tech background is just like, I'm very risk averse. So just little things like that I made sure that it is being supported.
Excellent. Now, what would you say is the top thing that makes you successful or your business successful? What's important as far as efforts on your end or the product you offer? What do you think is the most important thing to have a successful business?
Fun is the biggest thing. Is we need more fun people in this world. That's just like we're not just here to make money. We're not just here to, like do yet another Canva-fied PDF that we're trying to sell. The other aspect that I know, like a lot of my clients, they stay with me for years, is because I'm very innovative, and I don't take that lightly, because a few of my clients, they would chat GPT something and then we'll talk, and they're always like, well, I should have just asked you sooner. Because the kinds of things, it's just like, it just kind of pours out of me. So having that vision, and I think this is good for the people listening to have that skill and to start to fine tune that skill, because in this day and age where a lot of people are just leaning in more on ChatGPT, like you being the visionary is really going to serve you well in life and in business, because those are the skill set that no AI is going to replace. Being a fun personality, and also having a good visionary skill set is going to really help you along the way, especially in the future.
Yeah, and stand out and connect with your clients. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that advice in the digital marketing and entrepreneurship world. Is there anything else that I left out that you would like to add to share with our audience as far as your specialty?
That is, if you have any questions along the way in terms of just like maybe you have your social media or your website not converting necessarily, and you're just like, well, I'm spending all this time and effort, let me know. Like, I'm happy to just have a conversation. And I don't necessarily tell people what to do all the time, but I like to do an audit because I get nosy sometimes. So just reach out.
Well, you did mention social media. I didn't ask you any social media questions, and I know it's huge in a lot of industries to be relevant in today's world, especially with the younger audience. What are some of the do's and don'ts with social media, and how does somebody approach it from a entrepreneurship side compared to like a personal social media account?
Yeah, so there's definitely different ways to look at this, right? So again, like depending on your offer and your audience, like the people that have a local business, they're probably not going to be as active on there versus like if you are more an influencer type, like if you're into coaching, if you're into like fancy photography and stuff like that, then you might need more presence on one certain platform versus like if you're a videographer, right? So knowing who and where to show up instead of just like trying to be everywhere all at once. If you have a team, great. If you have automation tool, great, but you still will have to be the face of your business to talk and engage with people. A lot of times, again, like people are impatient and get lazy where they are everywhere, but there's no interaction happening on those pages. So people are going to want you to pay attention more and have those engagements. And that's what's going to, again, like from a marketing business standpoint, you need to have more relationship building more than anything in this day and age.
So you recommend if, a lot of entrepreneurs who we're in the beginning, we're short on time and money because we're trying to establish a business. So you recommend picking one platform and really being present there, show your face, engage, make friends, and really, like you said, work on connecting with your followers, even if it's just one or two people in the beginning versus trying to, let's say, post 3 times a day and post on 5 different platforms. That's the advice you would give.
Yeah. And that's an outdated strategy anyway, to do like 3-5 times a week kind of a thing. A lot of times these days it's the individual post that gets boosted up, and then if that resonates with people, then they will check out your profile. So again, this is the strategy at this time. It might change again in the future. And then even for myself, like I've had to take a step back, and I'm just like, okay, like my goal is to make sales, right? Like, and so if the strategy I'm doing for marketing is not necessarily matching my goal, then I need to take a step back. So even when I don't post as frequently as I used to do, I'm still making sales because I've shifted the way that I'm doing marketing to, again, focus on relationship building. So making sure that you're aware and you're paying attention to what works, and then being willing to let go of what you were doing but might not be working towards your goals. That's the hard part. It's just like, okay, well, will I lose credibility? Will I lose the subscribers? All these different things. But if your goal is to have followers and subscribers, just make sure, like that is the goal you want. And maybe it's paying the bills, maybe it's not. Again, it's being clear on what you want is the key part.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people make that mistake of, okay, I just want likes or followers or, just attention on there. But they forget that that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to give them the end result of sales, right? Because at bottom line for any business, you have to make sales to keep your business going. So I think that was really confusing for me personally in the beginning. And I was so focused on trying to have followers for the business, but I didn't realize that like that could be part of my marketing strategy, but my main goal is to make sales. So let me not worry about how many followers there are, but the quality of followers. There could be less, but at least these are all my exact customers that are going to like what I'm saying and are going to buy what I'm selling. So I think that's kind of important to keep in mind and it's stressful. Like a lot of times people get very stressed out about, hey, nobody engaged with my post, nobody's liking it, nobody's sharing it, I'm not getting any followers. I think that's really stressful and a lot of pressure in today's world. So I like that we can just kind of, okay, let's not pay attention to that. Let's not make that part of our priority, but know what your goal is. Now, like you said, if you're an influencer, that may differ, but for a business, if it's an online business or a local business, most of the time, yes, like our sales is our goal. So if that is the case, so for somebody like me, a quick summary. So I own a beauty business. We specialize in eyelash extensions. So we offer mostly products and classes. And now what would you recommend for, let's say, my Instagram or let's say TikTok, since TikTok's like booming now? What would you recommend? Like my quick focus should be with TikTok. Let's say I don't have time to be active on all the platforms. I choose TikTok now because that's relevant in the young beauty industry, which is my market. What would you say my focus should be if I have, what should we say? Let's say 30 minutes a day.
And then do you mostly have local clients then, or do you have do you
No,
sell something online?
we have nationwide. We sell all our products globally, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. So from that perspective, then client testimonials is great, right? Like, so if you're sending out products to your clients and then having them do a review, that's super popular. Like my sister's actually on TikTok and she's like a micro influencer. She gets like free. She had like a big mirror sent to our house for free. So just little things like that, that there are people out there where you could have conversations with. They don't have to, it's actually better to have micro influencers who are more niche, because they will have more reach and authority in their little pockets. And then also there's tools, right? Like, so there's a tool that I have for my clients, again, like in terms of knowing who to partner with, because it's not just that first circle. It's also like who else are they connected with? And even when people are liking their posts, like what kind of people are liking those posts? So having clarity and awareness on those kinds of stuff, there's plenty of tools like that nowadays, would be helpful. So having that clarity, that visibility for partnering. And if you only have 30 minutes a day, focus on your clients, right? Like quality relationship is always what's going to help. And so when people buy from you, serve them well, to be like, hey, just checking in. I just want to see if there's anything that, like we could make this better, all these things. And then we'd love to hear like what you like and didn't like. And if you're, if you're willing to give us your review, or like whatever the legalese terminologies are for that, we'd be happy to share, like 5% or whatever for your next order. Or if you know somebody else that would benefit from this, we are doing a buy one, get one free right now, or, whatever promo you're doing at that time. So yeah, so always reach out to your current clients, because they're going to be a repeat. It's easier to have retention of your existing clients rather than get new ones.
Honestly, I love that you mentioned that, because that was also a hard lesson I learned throughout entrepreneurship. Is we always focus, we want to make new sales, new clients, new everything, but sometimes we forget about our current clients, that we need to retain them and keep them happy. And I think that's a really good thing to focus on right from the start, in order to keep your business sustaining, growing, and all of that. I think it's easy to forget about that, and I've been guilty of that in the past, because we're so busy. We try to do so much, and then if that part of the business is already working, we don't pay attention to it. But we forget that any relationship in life, in business, you have to maintain, to make sure that it's getting the love that it needs to keep going.
Yes, for sure. And again, like I always, and I'm guilty of that too, right? Like I like to remind myself, I don't want to be McDonald's. I don't want to be a drive-through. I don't want to be a transactional business. I want to create a heart-led business. And if that's the kind of vibe I want, then I need to show up differently, and I need to be the person that shows up for my clients. I'm an introvert, so it's not natural for me by any means. But I do push myself to be like, hey, just checking in and not make it weird or salesy or anything like that.
I love that, to actually show you care. All right, well, Dianne, we are running short on time, so I'll ask you our closing question. It has been great. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom with us. But where can people find you and connect with you? And what are your last words of encouragement?
So you can find me on all the channels at Passion Breakthrough. And again, like feel free to just drop me a DM if you have any questions along the way on your journey. Share with us also about your journey and about your exceptional life. We'd love to hear it. And in terms of any parting words, just do the fun things. Even if it doesn't feel like fun, it's going to create that momentum. And that is the beauty of it all.
Beautiful. Thank you again, Dianne. It was so nice to get to know you and talk to you. And thank you to our listeners for always tuning in. And until next time, have a great rest of your day. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.